Hello YouTube, Anasa here. If you're new on my channel and you know what I'm up to since I joined YouTube and I started creating those videos, my intention of passing along the information that I pass along here, check out my video that I talk a little bit about me and why I do what I do. I am the founder of Anasa Wellness, which has the intention of bringing this whole idea of well-being into every single person that works with me through flower essences therapies. The Amazonian flower essence system is what I use, through illuminated quantum healing and quantum healing hypnosis technique and mentorship, all based on my own experience and the things that I have found that had helped me personally. So today and this month, the month of March, I have been inspired to talk with all my sisters out there, all women that I know and that I don't know personally, but I can possibly get to know here on YouTube, to really put it out there and express and to share everything that I have learned about my own womanhood and the sacred feminine within me. I know there is a lot being said about sacred feminine and rising, and I'm very glad that this is happening, because as I start to dip my toes into this study, I see how powerful it is. But there is a lot of also misconception with the idea that this is just another feminist or another feminist way of expressing and trying to change a reality, which in my opinion, that's not how it worked for me. The idea here is not to be equal to men, but to find the power within being a woman. With that being said, with no further ado, if you want to know more about the upcoming videos, or if you want to get notified, I would love for you to push the button to have that bell ringing for you when the next video comes. I post new videos every Friday. I love to create some kind of interaction here that we can exchange information and continue to grow together. So let's jump right into the subject of today, which it is menstruation and the cycles that we go through as women, right? The cycles in our lives. So I chose to talk about menstruation. And once again, I have been really focusing this month on my social medias and every outlet of information that I put out there, that I'm sharing my my knowledge, focusing this month on this energy, this feminine energy, since we celebrate International Women's Day in March. So I wanted to really put focus on that this month. And I chose menstruation because it's a big taboo almost to talk about it, and there is so much power behind it. I like to think of my cycle as my gift, and I call my cycle my moon cycle, because as a moon child that I consider most of the women being, we have a cycle that lasts an average 28 days. And we have a similar within our cycles, the short cycles of the moon in the sky. So for example, if I'm in my full moon, which means that my egg is ready for the time in which life can be generated within me, that would be my full moon. And my new moon is my new cycle, is the end of one for the beginning of the other one. So in that way, it's very similar. And in many other ways as well. You notice that with your moods, with the moon in the sky, maybe they're similar to the moods that you have within your cycles of menstruation. And that alone is a big tool for you to continue to self-study and to understand how your moods change within this cycle. So that's the first point that I wanted to bring out here. The moods and the whole idea that we have of PMS, premenstrual syndrome. And even this name is very heavy, syndrome, right? We treated this as a syndrome, as a problem. And in reality, as I started to learn about myself, I noticed how this was not true. Instead of a syndrome, is maybe symptoms. It's a little bit more adequate in my opinion, because those symptoms can also bring so much awareness about what's happening with us emotionally. In my studies, I really like the studies, and I like the research and work of Eckhart Tolle. And I believe that many of you watching this video have had the opportunity to study and to read his books like The Power of Now and The New Earth. But if you haven't, I highly recommend. I'm gonna leave here here on the video the name of the book, maybe the picture of the book, so you can, the books, both of the books that I mentioned in here, so you can do a little do your own reading and in your own research. But he talks about the pain body, how we all have a pain body, which in common language we might identify as the ego, this part of us that has been hurt in the past, and create mechanism and defense mechanisms to protect the identity, to protect what we think it is. So the ego lives in our minds, and the ego is not bad because, again, it's protecting us from danger. But often we're wearing this pain body, wearing our clothes, which it means that we are constantly walking around dressed as our personalities, as our identities, at this sense of protection that we have created. And we keep talking to each other from this place which is hurt. And when we have our appearance as women, this becomes way more extreme. And for some of us, we can consider that to be bad. That's why the syndrome came in there. But there is other opinions as well, that this is also related to the strong patriarchal energies in our society, which I also have to agree. And how this was minimalized into a syndrome, so we could in certain way lose our powers, because when we put a negative connotation to this time of the month, or in general to our cycles, we are losing the power within the cycle itself. So that was just a little sidetrack here on the conversation. But anyways, so when we are through this process of the premenstrual symptoms, one of the symptoms is our moods, is our irritation. We get irritated by little things that we think they're little things at the time, but they are being triggered because of that pain body. So it's very important for us to pay attention to those times, because by paying attention, that's when the real self-study begins, and we can really pay attention in our reaction to things. If you're overreacting, how can we change, and what is so painful that you need to act that way or react that way, and what can you do to change? So that's one of the points that I wanted to bring here. And our blood, right, is the other discomfort that we have. And we are told that we don't need to have our periods, because our cycles are just there for us to have babies, or for us to create life, which is in certain point it is truth, but it's not all, because we're not every month making babies. We're not having babies every time that we have our cycles. So society tells us that that's the only reason that you should menstruate, and that's why in some cases some women take anticonceptional pills all through the month and they don't have that periods at all. Now, physiologically, our bodies as women are every month cleaning up. Is a detox process. We are cleaning up, and energetically this womb carries a lot of emotion and a lot of energies. All of our sexual partners, all their stories, everything that we carry that was to create life or create life into a project in your life, for example. Everything that it's related to the generation of a project, all the energy is carrying on this womb, and we are every month cleaning that up, especially if we have the awareness of the emotional body and the connection with the physical bodies. So this can sound very up there for some of you, and that's okay too. This video is going to speak with those that feel some kind of connection and some kind of vibration connection with what I'm exposing here. But we have an emotional body that it's not something that we can see, but we can obviously feel it. And this emotional body is also being cleansed that every month with our periods. And then when we talk about our bloods, right, we have been taught that it's disgusting, it's gross, and we should be ashamed of it. But if you remember that blood was supposed to be guardian of a life, things like that can change and should change. This blood is the representation of your cleansing, and is the representation of life that didn't move forward, at least not life as a physical being inside of you, but maybe the representation of the death of this pain body, especially if you worked with the emotional symptoms, with everything that is coming to you on the days prior to receive your moon. So those are the moments that we're most uncomfortable with, and I highly recommend some of you girls watching this video, and even guys here watching this video, which I hope that I have some guys watching this video as well, because nothing better than rise and awaken the sacred feminine within every sex, male or female, it doesn't matter. It resides within all of us. We all have cycles, men a little bit different than women, but nevertheless, we have boyfriends, and the more that we connect this energy within the both of us, better we'll be in our relationships and better we'll be as society. So I chose to talk about exactly this time of the month, which it is the period itself and pre-menstruation, but I have so much more to share with you guys that I won't elongate myself here in a long video. But I like to invite you to my Instagram at Anasa Wellness with 3 S's, not 2 but 3 S's. There this month I have incredible guests coming to share their own experiences in this study with their womanhood. They're gonna see Deja Cook. I actually saw her this past Wednesday, and you're gonna see the live there recorded. It is recorded there on my Instagram page. You can look. Beautiful relationship with pregnancy and her feminine energies and trusting her body. Then this upcoming week, I will speak with Ariane, which is a great friend of mine, and she is working with yoni eggs and kundalini yoga. So it's going to be another fantastic live, and I share there some of my personal experiences and information as well. And if you want to know more about that and dive deeper into the study within your own sacred feminine, just go ahead and comment here below. Leave me your information or email me. You also can find my email here. I'm gonna post it right here as well, my email, so you can get in touch with me and we can continue this conversation, because I believe that once that we gain a little bit of knowledge and wisdom through our own practices, that we should share and we should help each other. So go ahead and leave me a comment, send me an email. I would love to create this conversation and to continue this conversation. And if I see enough interest, we can talk even more, furthermore about it. And I wanted to leave by recommending you, if you want to dive into it a little bit more, to look up this book, 4 Seasons in 4 Weeks. So this book, it's fantastic for you to start this study. And here you can find a parallel that this woman called Suzanne Matthews McQueen has developed on her own self-study. And she brings a parallel between the seasons and your menstrual cycle. How is, I said it's a parallel of the moon, but she also brings with the seasons, your own spring, your own summer, your own fall, and your own winter. So she explains in that parallel, and she brings many insights, many things that you can start doing today to create this closer relationship with your sacred feminine. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you enjoyed this video, please share, comment, like, put that bell for you to see more videos and more things that are going to be bringing for you. And thank you so much for your time and for watching. Namaste.